Thank you for choosing our Patio Heat channel. I'm Steve. We provide tips and information to extend the enjoyment of your patio project. Our videos give you a knowledgeable overview prior to investing in your outdoor heating equipment. Whether you are a professional or owner builder, we provide specific details for optimum heat coverage for your application. Post a comment or question, or for developed visual designs, send your request into designs@patioheat.com. We're here to work with you. For over 30 years, patio heating is the bedrock of our business, expressing what works best. Now let's get heating. All right, so we have this residential application, and what we're looking at here is how would a 6,000 watt unit, flush mounted unit, work in an application such as this. So we're going to go right into the dimensions first of all, and the installation height here is going to be at 13 feet off the finished floor to the flush mount ceiling. We have a drop here of 12 inches, and then this portion here is 24 inches off the edge of the wall, and we have a couple of doors and some windows, as well as we have a couple of fans in here. The fan diameter that I have is going to be 4 feet 4¼ inch. I have that dropped about 12 inches off the ceiling itself. There's also some recessed light fixtures up here. Now I believe I have them at 2.5 feet off of this edge here to over here, and the same over here, 2.5 inches. I have 2.5 feet, and also you can see I have 5 of the units. We may not probably use these, but I'm just guessing that this is going to be something that the ceiling is going to look like. In any case, let's see if there's anything else as far as the placement. The fan locations I have from the center point here to the center point here. I have that at 8 foot center to center, and again centered within the structure itself, and the center point being this 18 1 1¾ inch. Let's see if there's anything else that we want to talk about, and I think that's pretty much about it. So let's go into, first of all, I'm going to take off the top up here so we can get a better look at some of the stuff here. Let's take a look at what I have as far as the placement of the heaters themselves. You can see here that I have the center point here from the center point here at 8 foot 4½ Now the reason I have done that is because I wanted to make sure I am meeting the clearances to combustible material, meaning this drop down section here, and I'm not 100% certain that it's only 24 inches from this edge. Could it be 24 inches out from here and 24 inches out from here? Could be a little bit wider, maybe 6 inches wider. So in any case, we want to make sure that we're meeting the clearances to combustibles, and from the clearance to combustibles, what we're looking at is 18 inches from this edge here to the edge of the heater itself, not the flush mount kit, but the heater edge itself. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about as far as the clearances are concerned. The lights should not be an issue. Again, the fans, I have this particular fan at 18 inches from this edge here, from the center point, and I have this heater centered within the patio structure itself. And so 18 inches over, we could move, the fans over slightly if we just, adjusted the distance. That shouldn't be a problem, just a couple more inches, and we'll still meet the clearances from combustibles on this edge. Now, if the fan blade itself is a steel fan blade, then we can actually have that fan blade in that combustible area. However, I do not like the fan to be penetrated by the ray itself. So what I would recommend is, having something similar to this dimension. Maybe if you wanted to max it out 5 feet in diameter, that would be almost okay, I think. But in any case, I like this diameter itself. So let's see if there's anything else. Again, over here, I'm not sure if this section here comes out a little bit further, 24 inches out from this edge here, and kind of blocks around this edge here. Yeah, so that's pretty much about it. Now, would this heater work in this application at 13 feet off the finished floor? And I'm going to turn off the dimensions and the distances I have here, as well as the clearances right now. I think that's all we needed to talk about as far as the clearance. Now, if I put on the ray, you can see here that the ray is ideal for a maximum height of about 10 feet off the finished floor, and so we have an additional 2 feet, 3 feet further distance. Now, this is a very well protected patio. There's a door. I'm not sure if the windows here are open or are they screened in, but if there's screened in sections, then that's even a higher reduction of air movement through the patio. And so, as far as what would I do if this was an open patio, I would probably use 1 extra heater. And also I would say that the heaters had to be 10-foot maximum off the finished floor if it was all open on these 3 sides over here. However, the fact that the patio is well protected and that this is light waves. So just to get an understanding of that, if we were talking about the sunlight, here's the shadow from the sun hitting the structure. If you're standing here, let's say on an 80-degree day, maybe, you're going to feel you're not going to feel the heat of the sun itself. But if you're standing over here, you're going to feel an extra, maybe 5, 10, 15 degrees intensity of sunlight on you, and you feel a lot hotter. That's very similar to how the infrared light waves work on a true infrared light heater. And that is that the light wave itself travels through space and it penetrates into mass, the mass being floors, tables, chairs, the human body, and you will feel that warmth. Now, because it's so well protected and the ray continues to go all the way down, then I would say that this would be a pretty decent application for this particular project here. Let's go ahead and take off the top again and kind of take a look at that. You can see here we have rays that are crossing over here and here, and even though I have this drawn out as the ideal footprint, if I was to draw a line, let's see if I can get a good position here to kind of give you an idea here. But if I was to draw a line that came down, it would keep on further traveling out to this particular area around here, maybe another 2 feet possibly, and you'd almost get 3 overlapping rays with the 3 heaters over here in the center position. And then the outer positions, you'd probably get this particular heater here would overlap this heater here, and that ray would probably come out maybe about 2 feet further out. But the intensity isn't as high. However, because it's so well protected, I think this is going to be a perfect application. You can even see that, the ray, if I was to draw a line coming down this direction here, the ray would almost come to the edge of the patio structure over here. Another thing I'm not 100% certain of is there seemed like there might be a section right here that is pulled out a little bit further than the remaining portions of the wall here. But yeah, you would get a lot of nice heat even on this edge over here. It would come out maybe just 6 inches to the edge of this wall here. So with the heater centrally located, as well as the positions again that I have them, and let's go back into that distance that we have again, 8'4" and 1/2 inch, meeting those clearances. I think this would be an excellent application for this particular product line in this particular type of application. Last I want to go through is, I know that the ceiling is going to look something in this fashion here, and so there is going to be ceiling joists and lattice or the structural part of the ceiling here. But what I want to just kind of show is that you need to have some sort of let's see if I have it here, some sort of wooden framing that goes around the heaters themselves. Something like this would be efficient. What you need is, you need a minimum of 8 inches of distance. So from the point here to the point up here is a minimum of 8 inches. And the heater flush mount kit, you would drill holes where you see fit, and then attach this to the structure itself. Now, if you wanted the frame completely exposed, and I'm going to go ahead and just turn that ceiling back on. I don't have this frame or the flush mount kit itself fully exposed. What I have is I have it attached to the actual ceiling joists and then mounted onto those ceiling joists, and then I have overlapping stucco on the top edge of the, I should say the bottom edge of the flush mount kit itself. So let's go ahead and turn that back on and take one more look at what you'd have to do. You need a minimum of clearance from this point here to the combustible edge of 1/2 inch. And then what I have here is a drop, whatever that true drop would be. What you would end up having to do is take the heater itself and you would move that so that the bottom edge of the heater is at the same elevation as the bottom edge of the ceiling, physical ceiling itself, so that you are meeting all clearances to combustibles. And if I was to turn those clearances back on, you can see that, you know, here we're meeting all the clearances to combustibles right to that top edge here, 18 inches all around the 4 sides of the heater itself, by dropping that down so it's at the same elevation as the bottom of the ceiling itself. And let's see if there was anything else. Another thing just to think about is, you know, you need to check to make sure that however the ceiling truly is, let's see if I can show that to you here. I have everything kind of hidden, so let's go ahead and get into this point here. But what you have here is you have the physical drywall on all 4 sides inside of the flush mount kit. So here's the 3 sides, top, and there's, you know, the back side that's facing the opposite direction from here. You have those 5 sides all enclosed with the 5/8 drywall, and you want to make sure that you're going to meet that distance clearance from that ceiling, however those rafters or whatever they're called, how they actually fit in this patio structure itself, being that the center of the heaters are where I have located them here. So see if there's anything else we want to talk about. Also, possibly you'd want to use a control system on a system like this, just because of the fact that, let's say it's a 65-degree day and you turn all 3 heaters on, it might be too hot because of and especially if there's no wind movement, and there's going to be little air movement within the patio itself. So I would say a control would be very nice to have in an application like this. The other thing you could do is use what they call a duplex switch. A duplex switch would turn 1 element on or 2 elements on at the same time. So you can have, let's say, 1 element on in the middle, 2 on the outside, or vice versa, 1 on the outside, 1 on the middle one, 2 on the other one over here. I mean, you could really, you know, change everything as you like. However, it's only a 50% on or 100% on or off. So that's why I like the control, which allows you to go from 10% on to 100% on between that whole point. So that would be another thing to think about. And other than that, I think this is pretty much about it. All right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, send your information to designs@patioheat.com. And please ask any questions, make a comment, and hit that like button. We don't advertise. We're not monetized. YouTube does not support our channel unless we receive a thumbs up from our viewers. We truly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Have an excellent day.